Hi guys, I am so excited to share with you today how I am prepping my album. This is going to be a summer album for our family. We are going to go out of town for 3 weeks. In a few weeks we're going to go out of town for 3 weeks, and I wanted to have a nice little mini album that would capture all of our memories on our trip. And so the Clique Kits came out with a summer kit this year, and it's called Click Into Summer, and it's featuring the Simple Stories collection, and it is just beautiful. So what I want to do is kind of show you how I have the products organized and then how I'm starting to put together the album. Now what I want to do is I just want to prep the album, so when I'm on my trip I'm going to take my Canon selfie printer, and so I will just be able to print out pictures every few days and add my journaling, so it'll all be fresh in my mind. And then when we come home I will go ahead and do another video of how I am just finishing everything up and embellishing it. But I just wanted to kind of share how I'm organizing everything, how I'm setting up my base pages for the album, in case this is something that you want to go ahead and put together. So first, I had some questions on how I organize my kits, because I get kits from Clique Kits and I want to keep them all separated and organized. So what I have is I have these scrapbook organizers. They're plastic, and they're a nice heavy plastic. And what I do is every time I get a new kit for the month, I will go ahead and place them in these plastic containers, and I'll separate it into, like, this first pocket here has the 3x4 cards that you can put together. They're just little cutouts from Simple Stories, so I have all those taken out and put right in here. And if I had little 3x4 cards, I slid them down here to keep them with the 4x6s, but they would also fit up here. And then I just have other embellishments from the kit, so the sticker sheets up here, along with some of the frames and the enamel dots and some of the flare, which the flare is like incredibly adorable in this kit. I also saved this little glassine bag because I thought I may poke holes in it and use it for on one of the pages. So these are some of the flare. They are just so adorable in this kit. Lazy Days, Explore, and this little pineapple, and then there's one more flare that comes in the kit, but it's already in one of my prepped pages, and I'll go ahead and show that to you. And then I have my wood veneers in here, my 3x4 and 4x6 cards that I cut out of the 12x12 sheet, and also the acetate sheet. I went ahead and cut that up, and I'll also show you that in my prepped album. And then just some other cut apart sheets in here. There's also the ephemera pack. Place that in here, and can you believe this washi tape? Those little crabs, gold crabs, so cute. I love it. So I place all that in here, so then whenever I am working with a specific kit, then I know I can just grab this and I have everything I need. On this other side there's another pocket, and this has the thickers that come in the kit, and then I also have some extra page protectors. And then there is an extra pocket here on top, and that is holding all my 12x12 sheets that came in the kit. So it's really convenient to have this all put together, and then you know you have your whole kit together. I have used the iris containers, but I like this a little bit better just because it's a little bit more compact and also less expensive. So I can have lots of these, and they have the option of putting it into a 3-ring binder, but I just have them just neatly stacked up. So that is just a look at how I'm storing the kit. I also am keeping close by this container. It's just a little fruit basket container that is plastic that I got at Target. And this has some other goodies from the shop. So it has the colorings in Keep Palm and Pink Stilettos, orange juice, and some Dazzlers in See You in the Morning. And so these colors match perfectly with the summer kit. So I wanted to keep those close by just to make sure that I knew I had them and to use them. I also just grabbed a few cards from my stash that talked about summer, just in case I needed a few filler cards. I probably won't need them, but I always like to have, you know, more than enough. And then lastly, I just went through my stash and grabbed any stamps that talked about summer or photos, just so I had those close by too. So I have those all when I'm prepping my album, and then I'll also have those when I come back from my trip and I'm completing the whole album together. So now I'll just kind of go through the album. So this is the Simple Stories album that is in the Clique Kit shop, and you have the option, I think there's 3 or 4 different album options, and they're 6x8 chipboard album. So this is how I'm starting it off. So I'm starting off with the front page, and this is a adorable little wood veneer that comes in the kit. And this is going to go on this front page. And what I'm going to place here, and I haven't done the typing yet, obviously, because we haven't gone on our trip yet, but this, I am just going to talk about how we decided to go on the trip and why we were going on the trip and kind of the reason why I'm doing the album, and just talk a little bit about the importance of going on summer adventures and spending time together as a family. So that's going to be the cover page. And so then what I did next, and this stems mostly because I like to have some kind of consistency and organization, so then as I go through my album, I don't have to, every time I get to a new page, decide what I'm going to do. I like to have consistency through the albums, and Allie Edwards talks a lot about this in her classes that she gives on December Daily and on Week in the Life, anything like that, about having some kind of consistency throughout the album. And so I totally agree. I think that makes it so much easier to create an album by having some kind of routine or repetition throughout the album. So what I've done is I've divided the album into 3 weeks because we will be gone for 3 weeks. So this first one, each week will be divided by one of these page protectors, which is half of the 6x8. So it is going to be a 3x8. And it'll be a vellum piece, and it'll talk about that week right there. And then I chose a little chipboard piece from the Simple Stories chipboard that, wood veneers that come in the kit. And so it's the similar thing. I'll place it right up there, and I'll talk about that week on there. And I'll probably place a little tab right here to make that easy to turn. But that's what I'll do right there. And that will go ahead and break up the entire album and create some kind of consistency and theme through my album. So this is the first week. And so then what I did to prep the album is I went through all my embellishments and cards, and I'll say, okay, so I know that we're flying out that day, or in the first week. So I pulled the airplane and the ticket and a 3x4 card that kind of talked about flying. Anything that I think that I want to make sure that I use during this first week. I also will use repetition of my page protectors. So there'll be the same page protector right after. So first there'll be the 3x8, and then there'll be a full page picture, and then I'll go into my individual page protectors. And again, before I even leave, I'm going through and checking through my 3x4 cards, my 4x6 cards. I'm going through my embellishments, these little 3x4s that slide right in here. So if you want to, you can slide them right in there. They fit so perfect, and that is so cute. I love that little globe. So then I know that everything that I think that I'm gonna wanna use for that week is already prepped and in that area. And this will make it easier while I'm on vacation. So just when I find some extra time at night or during the day while the kids are playing, while we're out of town, I can just jot down a quick note, a quick memory, and slide it right in there and it's all ready. So that's kind of how I separated each week. So the first week, second week, same thing, that 3x8, the page protectors. Last week, that little palm tree, love it. Same thing, we'll write about the week, I'll have the page protectors. So, and I had already slipped in a few 3x4 cards here that I knew that I wanted to use. So then what I also did is back here in the back, before I leave, what I'm doing is I'm creating a few embellishment pages, just a few extra pages that are more creative and fun. And what I'm doing with those, and I'm just placing all those back here, and in each section I'll spread these out through the entire album. So just some fun pages that I create. So I showed some of these on Instagram, but I'll go ahead and show them again here. So this is just the 12x12 acetate that came in the kit, and I gold embossed one of the wood veneer pieces and added some red line tape along the back and adhered that down. So then used my crocodile and punch holes in that, so that would just become a page itself in the album. And so what I'll probably do is, on a few of these, is I'll have a large 6x8 photo behind it, and then have this vellum or this acetate piece right in front. I love the look of that. So I'll probably have that. And then I created this one, also same thing, using some gold embossing, and this is pigment ink here. And I just placed that in there. I'll probably add some stitching just to make sure that this wood veneer piece doesn't move around. And I have that one, and then also this one I love, put together just from a whole bunch of little pieces that came in the kit in this divided page protector. So again, what I'll do with those is just spread those out throughout the album, making sure that, again, I still have a theme and consistency throughout the album, but I'm just adding in these fun sheets to embellish the album and make it more fun. And then in the very back here, I just have extra page protectors, and this is obviously for when I have extra photos or anything that I need to slip in and add to the album. So that kind of gives you a look at how I'm beginning to prep the album and how you can prep an album before you go out of town and just take kind of the stress out of putting together an entire summer album by breaking up the pieces and starting with maybe just prepping the album, pulling out embellishments that you want to use, finding a pattern in your page protectors, and finding a pattern in how you're organizing the album, just to make it a little bit easier and take all the stress out. So every time you open the album, you don't have to think, okay, what page am I going to create? How am I going to create this entire new spread essentially every day? You just, you know, okay, today I'm doing 2 3x4s and a 4x6. That's the next page. And you always have, I mean, you're not locked into anything, depending on what photos that you have, but usually in Photoshop I can manipulate any photos that I do have, so I'm able to make them fit in the page protectors. So that is a little look at how I'm using the Clique Into Summer Kit. If you have any questions, just leave a comment below. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to the kit and all the fun stuff that you can get in the shop. And then make sure that you are following Clique Kits Instagram, and also my Instagram. I'll leave that linked below. So while I'm on my trip, you can see the pages that I'm putting together, and that you'll also see some prompts, because what I'll be doing on my trip also is sharing some ideas that I already have kind of in the works about certain things that I do want to document while we're on our trip. So if you're following Clique Kits, you'll be able to see all the fun stuff that we're documenting, and there are a few other design team girls that will be putting together albums, and you'll just love to see them. So thanks so much for stopping by today, and again, have a fabulous summer. Bye-bye.